All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, man. Today we have a Game 1 recap of the Minnesota Timberwolves versus Memphis Grizzlies. 7 seed taking down the 2 seed today. Not that far-fetched. You know, I really don't think it was that far-fetched. This is why I've been preaching. If there's going to be a upset in the first round of the NBA playoffs that I have to not like fully buy into, but that I can definitely see happening outside of Toronto taking down Philly, which I don't think will be an upset at all, wraps in 6, it's this series. It's this series. And there's nothing against Memphis. There's nothing against Minnesota. But, like, both of these two teams are so young. They're so hungry. And they're so freaking talented, dude. They are all so talented. Tonight, we saw Anthony Edwards become one of the youngest players to drop 30 or more in a playoff game. We saw Karl-Anthony Towns kind of turn around the narrative, showing up in a big playoff game today. Only scored 11 against the Clippers. He was hobbling at the end. I'll probably, I'll have to learn a little bit more about that situation, so TBD. But the Grizzlies, I don't think they had their best stuff today. Defensively, you gave up a ton of points. I guess same with Minnesota, but like these are two of the best offenses in the entire NBA. Two of the best offenses in the entire NBA. Why is it such a weird word to me right now? Two of the best offenses in the entire NBA. Third time's a charm. And so we knew going into this series that it's going to be a score fest. Like teams, players, they're going to go off this entire series. And we got it going right out of the get-go with a 41-33 score in Minnesota's way after the first quarter. Before we go any further into this game, if you guys enjoy this video, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button. I post Grizzlies content and Timberwolves content all the time. Let the record show I'm not necessarily rooting for anybody in this series. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. But this series is going to 7, dude. This series is 100% going to 7. I really liked how Minnesota kind of neutralized Ja Morant. I know if you look at like the stats tonight, Ja Morant, it doesn't look like he was all that neutralized, but got fouled a ton. I feel like Minnesota, as far as refs go, I feel like they were not really getting the benefit of the doubt, but that's okay. Still got the victory. You still got the victory. Ja Morant definitely didn't have his best stuff as far as shooting the basketball goes. Triple J had like 7 blocks. It was crazy. But still, Memphis came to play. Like, they had a good game. You had good defensive games from Triple J. You had good offensive games from Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks. But Minnesota was just way more on fire tonight. One thing that I've talked about a lot every Timberwolves video is how crucial that bench is. Once you get to the playoffs, like, lineups, they get smaller. Rotations, they get smaller. You just kind of tighten everything up. Well, in Minnesota's sake, you have a bunch of talent off of the bench. And tonight we saw Malik Beasley, along with Jaden McDaniels, just kind of feast on the offensive end. I mean, Malik Beasley gave you 21 points in 30 minutes. Jaden McDaniels gave you 13 points, 6 rebounds, 1 steal, and 3 blocks. And they just kept their foot on the gas, man. You score 41 points in the first quarter. They literally just kept their foot on the gas. It was so fun to watch. I'm sure if you're a Minnesota fan, you are ecstatic right now. If you're a Grizzlies fan, there isn't really anything to necessarily worry about, I would say. Just got to, come back ready for the next game, right? A couple of things I really that stood out to me with Minnesota is D'Angelo Russell did not play well. D'Lo's going to be a critical piece. He's going to be the X factor. In fact, I made a video not too long ago talking about why D'Angelo Russell is the X factor for the Minnesota Timberwolves. On the season against Memphis, I believe his stats were like 28, 26 points per game and like 8 assists. The good news is, helped out defensively. He distributed the ball, got a ton of assists, almost cleared 10, but he shot horribly. He shot horribly. He didn't score the ball much tonight. And I would imagine next game is going to be crazy. I think he's really going to go off. And that's an interesting kind of matchup. D'Angelo Russell versus Ja Morant. Ja Morant, with like a minute left in the fourth quarter, Ja Morant had not had a field goal made since like 1 minute left in the second quarter. So, yeah, whether it's Anthony Edwards, whether it's Patrick Beverley, whether it's D'Angelo Russell guarding Ja Morant, they did a phenomenal job. And once D'Angelo Russell just gets that ball in the bucket a couple more times, he had a huge 3 late in the game to kind of not necessarily seal the deal, but to just keep your foot on the gas. Patrick Beverley had an insanely clutch 3 at the end of the game, which in my eyes ended up being the dagger. Good game. This was a good win for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards is just like he completely took over. And you knew you kind of had a feeling once they started playing the pregame interviews with Anthony Edwards where he was like, I literally cannot wait to get out there. Like, I wish I was out there right now. That's when you know he's built for moments like this and he is ready to show up. And that's exactly what he did tonight. I feel like that was like the most beautiful 30-point game from a young player in a playoff series in a very long time. I couldn't even tell you actually the last time I saw that, and that's why he, kind of joined some history here tonight. Very impressive. Great team win from Minnesota, led by Karl-Anthony Towns, who had a great game, and Anthony Edwards, who had a great game. And then you got just good contributions from the rest of your team. You played good, hard, solid defense, and nothing to be happy about. You have everything to be happy about in today's win. You have literally every single thing to be happy about. You're on the road against one of the hottest teams in the Western Conference, one of the hottest teams in the NBA in general. You have a chip on your shoulder. You're getting clowned 2 nights ago for celebrating making the playoffs. Like, can people not just sit back, relax, and enjoy a moment for once? But this was a huge win, man. Game 1 on the road against a red-hot Memphis Grizzlies, fully healthy. That is uber impressive. Hit the like button. Let's try and hit 100 likes on today's video. I'm going to be covering this series, both teams, the entire playoffs, however far both teams make it. And off-season, I just make a ton of NBA videos in general. So I'll stop beating around the bush. Hit the like button, hit that sub button, drop some Game 1 thoughts down below. I'll see y'all later.